I do like AOC's quotes on this.
Oh, yeah. Let's listen to AOC then.
Yeah.
Here's AOC. She was on MSNBC last night as the results are coming in. And here's what she's talking about. And this is, let's see if you can get a sense of who she's referring to in this interview.
Well, I think it speaks to the absolutely heroic effort that not just Zohran Mamdani put together, but so many people who participated and were brought together by his campaign. Because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican. They were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody, it puts those folks on notice. And I think it also puts folks on notice that we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind. And I think that, well, I think it's...
That's so good.
Who might she be speaking to? People who talk about party unity and they don't show party unity.
Somebody whose job she's...
We won't rest!
God, I wish she was up in 2026.
And let me just see if I...
Can you read that?
Somewhere written down whom that might be. I don't know.
And that is not Kentucky Fried French fries.
No, it is not Kentucky Fried
French fries. She's absolutely right about the obstacles that Zohran faced. And I would say a third thing, too, not just the parties, both political parties, basically. The billionaire class that poured so much money into this race and took up immense ad space at Knicks games, on Twitter, on social media. I mean, blasted him with all of these accusations of anti-Semitism and fear-mongering about him being Muslim, and also just like the moneyed interest went absolutely insane. And so his victory in getting over 50% with all of those odds stacked against him, it's an enormous achievement.
I feel like a bit of a sucker because I bought tickets to go see the Nets Celts in a week or two. And with the upwards of 1 million people leaving the city.
I know.
That's got to impact the ticket prices.
They're going to collapse. Yeah, you should have got the
and I should have waited.
Insurance, yeah.
You should have waited.
Price drop guarantee.
Can't wait to see all those people leave
Celtics
town.
are also doing their best to devalue their own tickets.
Why are you going to say something like that?
You guys
I'm a Celtics
you're
fan.
on the same side.
No, it's just I think like they're one big man away.
Yeah.
They're one big man away.
Like prime Wilt Chamberlain.
One really good big man away.
Yeah. So,
Tatum is on the bench these days too.
you're right. He's hurt. But
Sitting there, he's not so hurt that he can't sit on the bench.
Okay.
That's a good sign.
Jeez.
It's only like 6 months away from him.
I'm looking at it from a positive perspective. Tickets aren't cheap.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. You're just regretting the purchase you made?
No, it's going to be a nice night with my son. It's just that the tickets are not cheap.
What did she say at the end there? I forget now what we were talking about. Dang. What
About being left behind?
Oh, we have a future to fight for. That's the other piece. Is
The gerontocracy.
Yes, but it's not even just the gerant. Like, Bernie knows we're fighting for a future, and I know he's the exception. I get it. But, like, they don't talk about anything in the future. They just talk about defending the frickin' ACA. They don't talk about any positive vision the Democrat she's referring to. They're just defensive the whole time. And that's why people are starved for a campaign like this, because it speaks about a vision for the future that's alternative and something that's distinct from what we're seeing right now, which is horrific. So an alternative vision is probably something potent that the Democrats should get behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
You need to be cultivating towards something. You can't just maintain things.
Exactly. And you see how maintenance is an electoral liability, because it makes you seem as out of touch as the Democrats are. It's why the Kamala for they, them ads maybe did have an effect, but it's not in the way that the pundit class talks about it. That it's like, oh, anti-trans stuff is really good for the Republicans. We just saw in Virginia this dynamic play out. They went so hard against Spanberger with anti-trans ads. That was their focus. And she won with the biggest margin in the state's history. And it's not because people are so anti-trans, and they may say it in a poll. They may not be as progressive as we want them to be on those issues in the poll, but it doesn't motivate them to vote. Public opinion polling is meaningless if it's not connected to people's voting patterns. And we've seen this time and time again. The inverse of this is like gun control, which is an issue that is widely popular but doesn't drive elections, and when it does, it's the nuts in the 20% that want no gun control that drive the elections. So you can't just read polling data and say, oh, this is where Democrats have to be, the popularist method. This is about what motivates people. We all, and so Spanberger won in spite of that overwhelmingly. And just to wrap up my point, the Kamala for they them thing was more like she's out of touch with your material needs. That's what that signaled.
51% of voters, and understand this is all exit polling stuff, and so it's not always necessarily the most accurate. But let's just assume it for the sake of argument.
Yeah.
51% of Virginia voters said that support for trans rights had gone too far. How you know this is soft, a soft belief, and let's also be clear. Before marriage equality existed, I don't even think it had popular support amongst Democrats, never mind across the board. Just so that you understand how these things change as a function of what politicians say, whether they address it or not. But let's just say this 51% had gone too far. This is after Earl Sears, the Republican candidate, and Republicans had spent millions on hammering this point. They went all in on it. But 22% of voters who agreed with Earl Sears on that issue ended up voting for Spanberger anyways. So contemplate this for the moment. What does the Venn diagram look like who feel that trans rights have gone too far and who are voting for Earl Sears, who are Republicans and whatnot.
Right.
And she lost almost a quarter of people who agreed with her on that issue, which is, if 50% agreed with her on the issue and a quarter of those abandoned her and voted for Spanberger because they did not care at all about that issue. It's quite possible the other 75% didn't care about that issue, but they voted for Earl Sears for a whole host of other reasons.
Exactly.
And so the numbers of people who are actually voted on that are small. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.